Hey guys, Toast here. In light of relative popularity of the hacking videos I've posted over the past couple months, coupled with the fact that within one day I recently found myself in 3 servers back-to-back that each had a hacker in it, I would like to ask the question, does the current anti-cheat system work in Battlefield 1, and does DICE really care? Now, I can't speak for console gaming, though I suspect based on those I know that play console, the problem is much less rampant, but from the PC side of things, this problem seems to be more and more apparent as time goes on. Interestingly, during the first 6 months of the game, I ran into maybe one hacker every couple months, and usually only one at a time. Now within the past month or so, it seems that I'm running into them near daily, if not multiple times per day, and with multiple in each game on certain days, and frankly it's getting really disheartening. Now on the past couple videos where I said that people were hacking, I had a number of responses non-sarcastically saying that they didn't believe that the players were hacking. So for the sake of the background footage of this video, I would like to reframe this by asking you if you believe that the players that you're seeing now are hacking. If you don't think so, that's perfectly fine. However, if you do think so, I do encourage you to report them to DICE. I'm going to refrain from making a definitive statement from my end in this video, though I suspect that you can probably decipher my opinion on these players based on the fact that I took the time and effort to go into spectator mode and record them, and then make a subsequent video about the subject. If you do believe that they're cheating, their names will be in the description below for reference. To DICE's credit, I will admit that in looking back at the people who I've showed in previous videos, according to BattlefieldTracker.com, 4 out of the 6 of them have not played any games since within 1 to 3 weeks after the respective videos were released, and the other 2 appear to have changed names because their profiles couldn't be found. I fully realize that this is not in any way definitive proof that they were banned, and that very well may not be the case, but at the very least it seems that they've stopped playing the game on those accounts. Of course, I'd like to think that perhaps my video had something to do with that, but I'm not delusional, and I realize that in the grand scheme of things, I'm very much a small fish in a big pond, but hopefully the result of people who saw the video and chose to report them had, in at least some way, a small impact on the outcome. But this all begs the question, is DICE doing enough to stop this from happening? In my personal opinion, the answer to this question is no, not nearly enough. Anti-cheat software is what a developer puts in place in order to do the majority of the policing for them. They rely on this software to be their eyes and ears when they either can't be or don't want to be the ones to do it. FairFight is the anti-cheat system that's currently in place in Battlefield 1. For those of you who aren't familiar with how FairFight works, here's the description from the company that created it. Quote, FairFight uses 2 overlapping and mutually supportive approaches to identify cheaters: algorithmic analysis of player statistics and server-side cheat detection. FairFight uses algorithmic models to evaluate gameplay against multiple statistical markers to identify cheating as it occurs. FairFight cross-checks these indicators using objective server-side reporting tools. It takes action when both approaches correlate to cheating. End quote. What this essentially means is that DICE helps to set parameters of what they deem to be impossible or near impossible statistics to reach in a variety of metrics, and the software then takes player data from the game servers, as well as data collected from all other players in the game on average, compares it to those parameters, and uses that comparison to decide if the player's cheating. There are a couple problems with this system that I'd like to identify. Using this statistical way of identifying a cheater means that DICE has to subjectively decide what is and isn't possible. If they set the parameters too low, then players who are very good at the game who aren't hacking risk being banned just for playing well. This obviously isn't good. On the other end of the spectrum, if the parameters are set too high, then you end up with people who are blatantly cheating who aren't getting banned. Then you also have to take into consideration what stats DICE is using to measure this against. To the best of my knowledge, it's unknown exactly what metrics and parameters are being used, but whatever the case may be, it seems that it's not doing enough overall to expel people who are abusing the system. So how is this different from other anti-cheat software? Well, on a very basic level, most other anti-cheat software works more akin to antivirus software, where there's a program that's actually loaded onto your computer along with the game that actively looks for irregularities in code. There are of course pros and cons to each approach, but systems like Punkbuster are going to catch anything that's questionably running alongside your game on your computer. For reference, these don't need to be used exclusively, and some games do use a combination of both types of anti-cheat. But by increasing the amount and severity of your anti-cheat efforts, you'll encounter another issue: how to handle players who are banned incorrectly, or at least claim to be, and this is where a dedicated team needs to be in place to review appeals. Ultimately, in my personal opinion, a 3-pronged system needs to be in place. You need to have something like Punkbuster, which will catch irregularities client-side. You need something like FairFight, which will catch statistical irregularities server-side. And then you need an appeals team to manually review cases to ensure that those who are unfairly banned have those bans lifted. So does DICE care about people cheating in their game? Well, I would hope so, considering that the goal should be to provide an even playing field for all players, but based on the actions with anti-cheat for Battlefield 1, at least on PC, it seems that this isn't the case. I'm not going to definitively say that yes, they do care or no, they don't care because I don't know them personally, but I will say that actions often speak louder than words, and in this case seems to be no exception. My hope is that DICE will wake up to this rampant problem on PC and take the necessary steps to up their game in the anti-cheat department to make the game more palatable for all legitimate players. Now I'd like to hear what you think the best option for anti-cheat would be, and what would provide the best overall system for stopping cheaters but not being too obtrusive to legitimate players. Let me know in the comments. If you liked the video, please leave a like, and if you want to see more content, please subscribe. I'll leave you now with a little more footage of the players I've recorded for you to form your own opinion on whether they're legitimate. Thank you guys so much for watching, this is Toast, and I'll talk to you soon.